Hello, it is Ashley here, and I am back to share my next Paige Evans cut file design team project. So today is day 3 of the 25 days of Christmas stitching cut files from Paige Evans, and this cut file is the Christmas tree stitching cut file. I have cut it from on kraft cardstock. I haven't used kraft cardstock in a long time, and I don't know what inspired me or what made me think of it, but I really wanted to try this with these trees. I wanted to use vibrant embroidery floss, and I wanted to try kraft cardstock with this one, so I went and purchased some, and I'm so happy I did. I thought it turned out super cool. So I'm just showing you me stitching those trees, and it probably took me 6 to 8 hours. I didn't actually time myself, but if I had to approximate how long, that would be about what I would say. So I'm just finishing up with the last star here, and yeah, I really love the way this turned out. I thought it was going to take me a lot longer, but it actually went pretty fast. So if you haven't heard, Paige has 2 Christmas bundles this year for cut files. She has her stitching bundle, and then she also has her Christmas cut file bundle. And then she also has she has 25 free cut files, which I just think is so generous and so sweet. So make sure you check all those out. And I'm just about done with this star here. And I will just tie it off in the back. Sometimes I use washi tape, sometimes I just tie it off. Okay, so I had those trees intentionally up high because I wanted to use, I originally was going to use pattern paper as the base of the layout, but I found this clear transparency floral sheet that's in the Sugarplum Wishes collection, Paige's brand new collection, and I just thought it would be so cool to have it on this kraft cardstock. I'm just loving the kraft cardstock. But yeah, so I was kind of playing around there, trying to decide if I wanted it to have a border or if I wanted it just straight across the edge with a small little gap on the bottom. And I liked how that looked, so that is what I went for. I strategically placed the adhesive in places where you wouldn't necessarily see behind the flowers and where my photos are gonna go. And then I had these gold stars. I believe they're from Heidi Swap, but I just thought they fit perfectly in these stars, and they just finished them off so nicely. So I am going to adhere a glittery star into the inside of these stitch stars. Just trying to figure out which stars fit best. They had a variation of sizes and style of stars, and I had exactly, I think, enough. I think maybe I had one left, but so that worked out perfect. So I have my 3 photos of our Christmas tree, our stockings, and then every year I purchase a ornament so that I can put our names on it. And I really liked that ribbon floral piece, holly branch piece. I just didn't love it tucked under, and I didn't want it on top of my photos, so I'm going to come up with something else. So this is about how my photos are going to look. So I think I'm about ready to adhere those down, trying to decide if I want some pattern paper, but I don't want to cover up that beautiful transparency sheet. So I'm ready to commit to where my photos are going to be. Trying really hard not to cover up those beautiful trees and the transparency at the same time, but those trees took so long and I just think they look so pretty. I'm going to cover up the bare minimum. So my title is Deck the Halls, and I use these red foiled stickers from the thickers that are in the Sugarplum Wishes collection. And I'm just going to I have my photos kind of at a, I don't know what you want to call it. It's not in a straight line. They're just in a curve here, I guess. And I kind of did the same thing with my title. I had it laid out in a curve. I'm not really going to embellish much because, like I said, I don't want to cover up my trees and I don't want to cover up that beautiful transparency sheet. So really all I'm going to do is add this little sentiment strip from this pattern paper. And I believe that was one of them from the 12 by 12 paper pad, but it also comes in a pattern paper. And I'm going to add some white stitching along the edges of it just to help it stand out a little bit more. And I love the way this white gel pen works. I think it's from Amazon maybe. And it just gives the perfect touch and I don't actually have to break out my needle and thread again. So I'm gonna pop this up with some foam adhesive and then I will eventually lay it right underneath that Deck the Halls title. And it perfectly just gives something for my title and photos to appear to sit on. They're grounded and they don't look like they're floating on the bottom of the layout. Okay, so I really wanted to add something more to these trees. There obviously are a lot of gaps in between the stitching, and I was originally going to use those enamel dots, but I didn't have the exact colors that I needed. So I'm kind of, right now I think I'm trying to decide I want to add something to the top of this layout. So we'll come back to the trees, but I felt like the top was so bare. And I thought, well, I'll add something to the top left-hand corner, and those flowers were perfect. And then I found this Merry and Bright sentiment strip in my stash, and that finished off that perfectly. Just making sure that it's on there straight. And then I'm actually going to use the scrapbook.com Pops of Color Pops of Color. That's what they're called. And they are so lovely. I also have Nuvo drops, but I've been having some issues with them where they seem to dry out very quickly. I don't know what's going on. But I found I had the perfect colors to add in with the stitching, and then I'm going to kind of flick underneath and that kind of flattens them out so they look more like a round enamel dot. Unfortunately, my light pink and dark pink and red dried too quickly, so I had to scrape them off and redo them, and wasn't pretty, but it's done. Thank you so much for stopping by. I hope I've inspired you in some way to try stitching and check out the bundles that Paige has available. Thank you so much again and have a great day. Bye-bye.